events over the weekend. And event number 3 is called Tax Collector. It is presented by Tier. 3 movements, 10 reps each.
Now, I didn't talk to Josh or Chris about the title of this, Sean, but I have a feeling that no one likes to see the tax collector coming. We like to keep our money, but we understand its value. But that's because this workout involves some pain. It's going to be 10 back squats at 315 pounds, 10 dumbbell snatches at 100 pounds, that's not a typo, and 10 sandbag cleans at 150 pounds, where the men are going to be asked to do single repetitions at a time there on those 10. And they're doing this not 1 round, Sean, but 4.
Oof. That's a lot of work. Harry Lightfoot taking his place at the starting line. First of 2 heats here for the men. 9 men in the field here as Uldis Upniks, has withdrawn. And Guy Maieros in lane 4 is a guy who can move some heavy weight. Colton Mertens in lane 2, also someone who could do very well in this event. Opening heat is underway. 30 reps per round. 4 total rounds for 120 reps, and then that 1 final rep at the end to hit the buzzer.
Now, for some context, folks, we tested the back squat this year as a 1-rep max for the first time at the CrossFit Games as a stand-alone event, which allowed athletes to really see where they were. And this man, Colton Mertens, he back squatted 570 pounds. So when you think about 315 all across the board, it's no surprise he gets off after doing 10 reps in just 30 seconds.
Mertens moving on to the 100-pound dumbbell snatch, 45 kilos. What are the keys here?
Well, it's breathing and bracing. We already noticed these athletes, Guy and Colton, both moving on to the second movement. Well, they're bracing the musculature around their spine very differently than they did to hold and support that back squat load, and it's going to be the same for the sandbag. And they got to rack and rest. This is going to take place for most of the competitors in the squat. They're going to need to use that rack so that they don't just have to support the 315 for all 4 rounds unbroken.
Mertens is through his 10 reps and now moving to the sandbag clean. Got to do 10 reps at 150 pounds at 68 kilos on that.
Again, the athletes are going to have already been specified. They must do single reps on the sandbag. Not that I don't think it changed a lot of their approach, of course, to this specific event. Coming into Tax Collector, I think a lot of athletes knew there'd be pressure to keep the reps chunked together in pretty big sets on the back squat to get to 10. Smooth touch and go, and some singles on the dumbbell, but most would have opted for single reps here on the sandbag either way.
Austin Hatfield and Fabian Ermans are the next 2 men to the sandbag. Then to the far end of the floor, right side of your screen, that's Saxon Panchik getting to work on the sandbag, and Sam Quant in the black shirt is starting. Chandler Smith stepping up to this implement for the first time. 4 rounds here, opening heat, first of 2 heats for the men. 16-minute time cap, and Colton Mertens will be the first man to head back to that 315-pound, 143-kilo barbell for round 2.
Wow. And no hesitation, notice, I mean, this is a body language thing. He puts his hands right on the bar, giving himself that mental cue like, hey, it's time to go to work. I'm not going to stand around and look at the rest of this field.
Mertens halfway through, 5 reps remaining, and no one is even close to joining him yet. Hatfield and Ermans have 1 rep remaining on the sandbag. Hatfield just finished up his set, and he's not even going to get to the barbell before Mertens is done.
Yeah, his ability to keep his torso tall and utilize his legs from his upper leg position and his lower leg position to literally sandwich that tissue together and just rebound out of the bottom is going to be really hard for guys to keep up with.
Chandler Smith finishing up his first set of 10 sandbag cleans. Saxon Panchik walking back to the rack, along with Sam Quant in the black shirt, left side of your screen. The battle for second has taken place between Fabian Ermans and Austin Hatfield. Ermans has a 1-rep lead on Hatfield. Ermans bottom of your screen taking a break, as is Hatfield, and Colton Mertens is starting to run away with his heat. He's already through his 2nd round of dumbbell snatches onto the sandbag for the 2nd time. He'll be halfway through after these 10 reps.
It's honestly wild to consider, Sean. We see Hatfield using the rest and rack method that we talked about in the keys, showing a little bit of his mortality, where Colton Mertens is just putting his foot on the gas to pull further and further away from the rest of this field.
Mertens already through 2 sandbag cleans at 150 pounds. Mertens coming in at 11th place overall. He's got a 10th and a 9th place finish.
Colton really using the pace of the sandbag to keep his composure, not rushing these repetitions, but he knows where he makes his money, which is on the back squat rep, so he can pace this out a little bit more. He knows everybody has to do singles on the bag anyways, and this is where he can settle his heart rate and then walk back to that barbell for another 10 reps.
Mertens has just 2 reps remaining in this round. 150 pounds at 68 kilos on the sandbag, and he is halfway through the 120 total reps. Weights on all of the implements on the bottom left-hand part of your screen. 10 more reps at 315, 143 kilos on the back squat for the Iron Hog, who is starting to open up a very wide lead here over both Ermans and Hatfield, who have just both started their second round of sandbag cleans.
Shawnee's moving this 315 as if it's not there on his back, which lends me to believe with the pace that he's holding, there is no breaking this up. Not even, it wasn't even an afterthought for Colton Mertens, as if, will I use this rest and rack method that Adrian just prescribed to the group? No, I'm not human like the rest of these athletes out here on the field.
Well, if Mertens gets through these as quickly as he has these first 2 rounds, he could join Hatfield and Ermans and Smith on the sandbag.
Well, this is what will dictate it right here. Does he choose to go touch and go on the dumbbell?
Chandler Smith with 7 reps to go on the sandbag. Ermans has 2 left. Hatfield has 3 remaining.
And he does. Merton going touch and go, just like he did in the previous 2 rounds.
45 kilos, 100 pounds on that dumbbell, and Mertens is just smashing this event.
It's becoming comical. A brief rest with his hands on his knees, his first sign of mortality in the tax collector for Colton.
The Hatfield and Hermans are now starting round 3 as Mertens is 10 reps away from heading into his 4th and final round here.
Fabian making these squats look light as well. I mean, technically very sound. Does a great job staying rooted through his heel, and a great pace there with 315, making it look very light. Breaking it up there. This is that rest and rec method that we talked about. It was going to be important for athletes to remain disciplined when they choose to use the rack. This can also be a trap. Got to get back to work.
Herman's coming off a 12th place finish in event 2. William Wallace earlier today. There's Austin Hatfield.
I talked to one of the Mayhem coaches between these events, Sean Angelo DeChico, and he said Hatfield was a bit upset with the way he finished the last event. Not in a bad placing, but in a way that he knew he could have gone faster. And you just got to think that that kind of urgency, and especially when you get that kind of emotion in competition, it's going to fuel your next performance.
Well, Colton Burns is slowed a little bit on the sandbag. He's on the right side of your screen now. He has 2 reps remaining, but he is so far ahead that it's not going to matter. Back to the barbell for 10 final back squats at 315 pounds, 143 kilos.
Now, if all things considered, if he's paced the way that he has the rest of this, he slowed the sandbag cleans just so that he could come here and get another 10 unbroken. And it looks like that's going to be the case. The speed out of the bottom on these squats is just unmatched. He has an advantage with the distance that he has to travel, being a shorter statured athlete, and he's taking the most of it and making the most of it right now.
Final 2 for Colton Mertens, who went unbroken in all 4 of these sets and gets right to it. Never racked that barbell until he was done, and now back to the dumbbell. And this is just a beating that he is putting on the rest of the field.
And just look at the rest of the men. Look at Hatfield. Look at Chandler Smith. They're doing 1 rep at a time. That dumbbell's taking them for a ride. Yeah.
That's Fabian Ermans, who currently sits in 2nd place, trying to close out his 3rd round.
And Colton Mertens just continuing to cycle this 100-pound dumbbell. Better than I do 70 pounds.
Mertens now 10 sandbag cleans remaining. To the sandbag for the final time, threatening to lap Ehrmans.
And if you pay attention to Colton Mertens, which is why he's a fan favorite, I promise you that lapping them is a huge motivator right now. He is leaning into this full send, not only thinking about the next heat, but he's like, yeah, I want to be able to hold this over these guys' head that they got lapped by me and the tax collector.
Six reps remaining for Mertens. 16-minute time cap in this event.
I mean, this is amazing what we're seeing from Mertens right now. He's making it look way too easy and way too simple, folks. It's easy to unappreciate what's going on, but just look around.
He's making some of the fittest in the world just look pedestrian at this point. Mertens on his final rep. Colt Mertens, the Iron Hawk, demolishes the event and dominates Heat 1. 10:27.66 seconds.
Wow.
Austin Hatfield is on his final set of back squats. Ehrmans is currently the leader on the floor. But Mertens had 115 points. I know it's early, but he is looking to move maybe into the top 6, depending on what happens in heat number 2. But that time is, unless something crazy happens in heat number 2, is definitely going to be towards the top of the results when this is all said and done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, beyond crazy, it would have to be astronomical for someone to touch his time. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be a statement one for him and a huge momentum swing. You know what it's like and what we've seen in the past. You finish day 1 or day 2, that evening workout with a win. Man, does it carry on to that next day. And this is one of those events, Sean, as we watch the rookie make a great performance here in the first heat. This is one that's certainly going to shake some things up.
10 reps remain for Fabian Ehrmans. Chandler Smith and Austin Hatfield are closing out their 4th round of dumbbell snatches. Colton Mertens has been done for nearly 2 minutes. The first appearance of the Rogue Invitational for Fabian. And we mentioned it earlier today. Just to be on this stage competing against this class of athlete, it's going to be a great learning experience for him.
Yeah, and in a young athlete, when you see something like this, a rookie on a stage like this, to go through an event specifically like this, the tax collector, this is so physiologically taxing. Like, again, people at home are going to have a hard time fathoming this unless they put together this triplet, these 3 movements, and simulate it for themselves. But to see this kind of raw work capacity from a rookie that Fabian's showing us right now, that really shows me exactly why he was able to qualify for the Q and get a ticket here.
Fabian is in 17:17.58 seconds. I mean, nearly 3 minutes behind Colton Mertens. Hatfield and Smith, along with Sachs and Panchik, are your leaders on the floor here. 2.5 minutes to go before we hit the time cap.
This is where you explore different ways to test strength. We see there are many guys out there on the floor right now that might win by and large, like Guy Malheiros in a 1-rep max strength event. But this is strength in a different way. This is certainly more of an emphasis on strength endurance. Your ability to be gritty and grind through different elements
And Chandler Smith is in. 14:08 for Chandler Smith. Someone who's competed in every single Rogue Invitational, making his 7th appearance here. And now Hatfield is in. Less than 90 seconds to go. Saxon Panchik has 1 dumbbell snatch, and now he's finished on the right side of your screen, moving to the sandbag for the final time.
Oh boy. We're running into some serious cappage here. More guys gonna be struggling with this 16-minute time cap than I assumed coming into this first heat. Showing the wear and tear of today. This is not the first event, folks. This is the 3rd event that they've done today, and we can't discount the way carrying that 600-pound yoke has taxed their nervous system already today. So they've been through it.
Harry Lightfoot is on his 4th and final round of dumbbell snatches. Guimaeros is just finishing up his final set of back squats, and now less than 30 seconds to go before we hit the time cap, and Saxon Panchik has 4 reps left to get there. And the way this event is going, those reps are going to be huge if he can get in inside that time cap. 2 reps remain for Saxon. He's got it. Now he's got to hit the buzzer, and he does. So Saxon Panchik sneaking in inside the time cap. But Colton Mertens just demolishing this event. Finished in 10 minutes, 27.66 seconds. And that is going to be a tough time to beat.
Oh, my goodness. I'm laughing because I'm dumbfounded at that performance, man. Colton Mertens coming out making a wonderful statement for himself and building momentum going into day 2 here in the tax collector. Isn't it Josh Bridges that say you got to pay the man? I think the man might be paying Colton after this one. He put on a clinic, unbroken every round on the back squats. He paced the sandbag just enough, and he was able to manage to finish this workout fast enough that he, in fact, did lap some of the other competitors out there on the floor. And to be honest, between him and the 2nd place finisher, I think he could have come up here with us for an interview before this one wrapped up.
10:27.66 seconds, nearly 3 minutes faster than Fabian Ermans, who finishes in 2nd. Chandler Smith and Austin Hatfield, along with Saxon Panchik, the only 5 men in that opening heat to finish all of the work inside the 16-minute time cap. Only 1 heat remains here, and the overall leaders will be out on the competition floor. And if you missed the beginning of this event, 3 men are tied with 170 points. Justin Medeiros is technically your overall leader, courtesy of the tiebreak because of his event win in event number 1. But Jay Crouch and Pat Vellner both with 170 points. Ricky Garrard is only 5 points back, and Jeff Adler now only 25 points back. Sprague and Hopper, along with Adler, all rocketed up the overall standings, courtesy of their performance in event number 2. William Wallace. So what's at stake here heading in to the final heat?
I think we've got a lot at stake, and it's going to continue to build throughout the course of this weekend. But for Hopper, it's going to be to really focus on keep climbing. He can't just pat himself on the back with that first place. He's going to need another performance similar to that in order to continue to climb the standings. And then, of course, it's brace for impact for some of these competitors, specifically James Sprague, that might struggle with the cyclical nature of a pretty moderate to heavy load. He's got to brace for the impact that could be coming on the leaderboard. But I'm very confident the way that he's been training his weaknesses and continuing to get stronger through his years that James is going to fare just fine.
Jason Hopper finished 18th in the opening event, but then got right back on track with a win in event 2. William Wallace, your lane assignments, 10 athletes out there on the floor. Justin Medeiros will be in lane number 4. He is your overall leader. Keep an eye on Vellner in lane 9. and Jay Crouch in lane 3. Those are your overall leaders. Jason Hopper trying to come up with another strong performance. I don't know if the event win is even possible after what Colton Mertens did to this thing. But we start with the 10 back squats at 315 pounds, 143 kilos.
We already got a couple athletes using that rack and rest method. Jason Hopper, one of them that chose to break up the first 10. I think this is a very wise choice. If you're making this choice early for someone like Hopper who has a back squat over 500 pounds and you're breaking up 10 reps at 315, that tells me you're thinking ahead and not just racing the first round.
Jay Crouch and Justin Medeiros, along with Pat Vellner, the first 3 men to the dumbbell. Adler's there as well. Now everybody on to the dumbbell snatches. Something to keep an eye on, but Colton Mertens was done with this first round in 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
That's right. I made that note too, man. I was like, oh my goodness.
So good luck.
That's right. And we noticed Jay's not the only one. We've noticed some athletes breaking their setup here, even in the first round with these 10, trying to conserve their lower back a little bit. Look, this is a mirrored movement. They're gonna come off this dumbbell snatch and go to the sandbag, and Sean, those look almost exactly the same.
Yeah, Adler, Hopper, and Medeiros, along with Vellner, are all on to the sandbag. Vellner's at the very far end of the floor in the black shirt. Jeff Adler, who came in 5th place overall, 145 points. He's only 25 out of a spot inside the top 3. There's Pat Vellner, one of the 3 men with 170 points to lead the way. 2-time Rogue Invitational champion. So all these men behind the pace set by Colton Mertens, who again finished his first round in 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
Pat really has a unique sandbag to shoulder. He gets that thing past his knees and just pulls his hips forward right underneath it. I think it saves him a ton of range. It's really wise, showing a good technical difference between him and the rest of the field there. Just a rebend to the knee, sneaks right under that bag, doesn't have to jump it to his shoulders, and this could keep his heart rate down a good bit here.
But Jeff Adler's your leader here in this heat after round number 1, but well off the lead pace set by Colton Mertens. Jason Hopper is done, as are Medeiros, Jay Crouch, Pat Vellner, and Roman Krennikov. James Sprague on the right side in that red shirt, falling back a little bit in the pack. And as you mentioned, just got to do some damage control here. Not going to be his event. And Jason Hopper, who's trying to do it, the man on his right, Justin Medeiros, did, and that is follow up a CrossFit Games championship with a Rogue Invitational win, is towards the front of the pack.
This is where you'd like to think these athletes, especially as experienced and having that champion mindset like Justin Medeiros, is having a steady internal clock. The timer's always going. He finishes a few reps, he racks, he rests, and it's immediately a countdown onto that next set.
Well, Jeff Adler's through his second round, as is Jason Hopper. Justin Medeiros putting the belt on as he sizes up that 100-pound, 45-kilo dumbbell. And just to compare again what Colton Mertens did to this event, he finished round 2 in 4 minutes, 32 seconds on the clock.
Wow. We're seeing a lot of mirroring game strategy here, Sean. These athletes breaking at a similar time, choosing to go singles at a similar time. I don't know if Hopper intended on going singles this early. It looked like a response to some fatigue that's building in his lower back. The other guys opted for 2 sets of touch and go reps, and he opted for singles instead.
Well, Jason Hopper, who started the competition in 18th place, moved up to 7th place after the event win and is trying to get himself inside the top 5, as Justin Medeiros and Jeff Adler are leading the way here. So Colton Mertens can start celebrating the event win, because elite athletes in this heat are way off of his pace.
Colton is likely watching in the back, going to watch closely for their times and see if there's a time in which he would have lapped them. And he will then let them know about that if that's true.
Adler kind of had a similar beginning as a Jason Hopper. Hopper finished 18th in that opening event. Jeff Adler took 11th, but then took a second in the following event. There are Colton Merton splits that are just insane. So he was well into round 3 at this point.
Well, it's all about consistency. And for anyone unaware of the way that we're looking to find the champion this weekend, it's across these 9 events and who scores statistically best.
Jay Crouch is on his final rep. The good news for Justin Madera is not going to win the event, but he's ahead of the 2 guys who are tied with him in the overall standings, both Pat Vellner and Jay Crouch. But it's going to get crowded there at the top of the overall standings as Hopper and Adler continue to try and rack up points and work their way closer to a podium spot heading into the weekend.
Adler going 6-4 for his back squat sets, now taking time to chalk up these first 2 rounds. Sean, he stayed tremendously closer to his barbell. He was like right under that thing even during his rest. So this tells me he's going to start taking some more time to recover now.
Medeiros is now done with his 3rd set of back squats and will move back to the dumbbell. He's been impressive so far as Justin Medeiros. I don't know if a lot of people thought he would be in this position after day 1. A lot of the eyes were on Jeff Adler, as we said at the top of the event here. He was the guy people were thinking was going to return to championship form, but so far it has been Justin Medeiros.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about this lineup. We can't count out a handful of these guys. They've all got championship experience. They know what it takes. It's about piecing it together. When we consider piecing it together, we're watching Jay Crouch. He's been doing singles on this dumbbell snatch the entire time, and look at where he's at. It's paying off just fine for him in his overall strategy. He's one of those guys that if we don't pay attention to, he'll sneakily sneak in to a top spot.
Ricky Garrard has fallen way off the pace here. This is the start of his 3rd round. And just for context again, Colton Mertens was into round 4 at this point.
Yeah, it's got to be this back squat that's giving Ricky problems. He did finish 23rd at that 1-rep max back squat that I alluded to at the CrossFit Games this last year. He only back squatted 455. When you consider a number like that against that 315 that he's having to cycle 40 times, it's a very different experience for him than it is some of these other stronger guys. Justin
Medeiros has opened up a now 3-rep lead on Jeff Adler as they are to the sandbag for the start of round 3. So if this holds, Medeiros will be in the lead all by himself. And then things are going to get really interesting behind him because Adler and Hopper are picking up more points. Now, meanwhile, Roman Krennikov and Pat Vellner and James Sprague are creeping up here.
Still a lot of opportunity for this different leads and different positions to exchange, which is a beautiful thing here. This is where self-discipline and self-awareness really kick in.
James Sprague, one of the 3 men who made a big move after that second event. 130 points, 6th place overall, as Justin Medeiros is into his 4th and final round.
All these events are uncomfortable. They are all going to elicit a sense of pain. But I'll tell you right now, when you're in the lead and you're Justin Medeiros, the pain feels so different than what someone like Ricky Garrard is experiencing right now. When you're playing catch-up, everything hurts just a little bit more worse than when you're leading the pack.
Now, Garrard is just lagging towards the back. Just finishing up his 3rd set of back squats as Adler is back to the barbell along with Jay Crouch in the gray shirt, bottom of your screen, and James Sprague in an event that you mentioned, what was at stake here for him. Try to do some damage control. So far, he has doing more than that. He's in contention here for a top finish in the heat.
Yeah, we talked about the different ways to test strength, and I'll tell you, this one being more of an emphasis on strength endurance and that grittiness, James excels at that. So while this 315 might be heavier to him relative to his 100 max than others, he can grind through this and shine nonetheless.
We got 10 seconds until we hit Colton Mertens' time, so he's going to pick up the event win and 100 points in the process, and Mertens is likely going to be inside the top 10 to start day number 2. Justin Medeiros to the 100-pound, 45-kilo dumbbell for his final set of 20, or 10, sorry. Adler with 3 reps remaining here. Make it 4. But James Sprague, meanwhile, has moved himself into 3rd place in the heat behind Crouch and Medeiros.
Wow.
This is a great showing for James Sprague.
Yeah, absolutely.
Medeiros to the sandbag for the final time. And remember, Colton Mertens had about 3 minutes between himself and Fabian Hermans, who finished in 2nd place in that heat. So a 2nd place finish in this event is very well within the reach of Justin Medeiros. And now Sprague into 2nd behind Medeiros. This is huge for James Sprague. He is 6th place overall coming in. Now Jay Crouch to the sandbag for the final time. He's in the gray shirt. James Sprague is picking things up here a bit. He's 3 reps back of Medeiros. He's on a faster pace, but I think he's going to run out of time. Roman Krennikov up top onto the sandbag. 150 pounds, 68 kilos. Medeiros got a no rep. He still has plenty of time. 2nd place in the event still is his. Medeiros hits the buzzer, and he's going to be your overall leader heading in to day 2. 12:26.19 seconds for the 2-time Rogue Invitational champion. And now James Sprague has 1 rep left, as does Jay Crouch. Sprague is closer to the buzzer. He takes the rep, makes the touch. Here comes Crouch. 3rd and 4th, respectively, in the event for Sprague and Crouch. Is now Krennikov is across.
Wow.
So Jeff Adler falling off the pace. He's got 4 reps remaining. And now those times from heat number 1 are starting to factor in. So Colton Mertens beat Justin Medeiros by nearly 2 minutes in this event. And Medeiros is your overall leader.
What a showing. What a showing by Medeiros. Adler across.
So Adler looking to keep himself inside the top 5. So Jason Hopper, mentioned what's at stake for him, trying to pick up some points here. He was in 7th place overall, but now starting to fall back as Vellner is in. Hopper has 5 reps remaining. Jorgen Carl Gudmundsson is out there along with Jonakowski on the sandbag. Ricky Garrard is still back on the back squat here in round 4. Garrard's in danger of getting capped. Hopper's in. We'll see if he stays inside the top 7. Koski and Gudmundsson are just about done. Gudmundsson, top of your screen, has 1 rep remaining, and Jorgen Carl Gudmundsson is across the finish line. Jonakowski with 4 reps left on the sandbag. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining here before we run into the 16-minute time cap. Final rep for Koski.
Something's just not right with Ricky Garrard back there still working through his back squats.
Koski's done, less than a minute to go, and Ricky Garrard is going to get time capped. He has 3 reps left on that 315-pound, 143-kilo back squat.
It looks like he's continuing to try to find some position of relief for his midline. It could be his back, it could be an oblique, something that he's trying to find relief for, cinching up the belt as tight as he can get it.
Oh, yeah. So nice. I said it on the back. Oh, no.
But that strain you see from him, that's not a response to the load and him just squatting it up and down.
So Garrard is done with the barbell. He'll move to the 100-pound dumbbell, try to get as many reps as he possibly can here.
Every rep counts. 3, 2, 1, 4.
Justin Medeiros will be your overall leader after 3 events. Colton Mertens looking to crash the party in the top 10 as he picks up the event win. A first, a second, and a 7th for Justin Medeiros on day number 1, and looking a lot like the Justin Medeiros who used to win the CrossFit Games with just consistent performances across the board.
That's right, and you saw it in his walk. I don't know if that was the strut of swagger, if it was a strut from the squats that he was just getting under when the tax collector, but this is where he won it. He was disciplined with keeping his hands on the barbell. We talked about rest and rack and the points to focus on and the keys to this event, and he executed at a high level throughout, staying very disciplined there, and he was constant and consistent with the sandbag work. It was James Sprague, though, who gave him a big push towards the end, which surprised us all. We talked about him having to create a little bit of some damage control here for himself, and he did just that. He did much more than that, in fact. And I think this puts the rest of the field on notice here, but it was Colton Mertens. It was that man right there who, my goodness, lapped several and made this workout look really easy. Again, I think they say you got to pay the man, but the man paid Colton today.
10:27.66 seconds for Mertens, nearly 2 minutes faster than Justin Medeiros, who beat some of the fittest men on the planet. James Sprague, this was huge for him in an event that we thought might be damage control.
Yes.
3rd place for the 2024 CrossFit Games champion. Jay Crouch and Roman Krennikov rounding out the top 5, and a great finish for Rogue Invitational rookie Fabian Ermans, who's going to wind up